She like locked me out. She locked my room door, wouldn't tell me where the key was. That was how I moved out at 20 and how it turned from a great experience to a crazy roommate. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you are new here, I'm Adriana. Make sure you guys give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. I don't want to talk too much because you guys know this is a crazy story time, so I kind of want to get right into it. So let's go. So this is going back to, let's say, 2020. So 2020, I went through a super tough year that year. It was the year I got out of a toxic relationship. I was finding myself, I was healing, I was ready to just focus on me and do what I wanted. Around like November of 2020, I decided I wanted to move to Orlando, Florida completely by myself. One thing about me, I'm super determined. When I get something in my head that I want to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do every single step to do what that big goal is. That's just how I am, and I love that about me. So I started looking on the Roommates app, and if you don't know what that is, it's kind of exactly how it sounds. Just an app where you can find roommates. You basically just make a profile, kind of talk about yourself, where you want to move. So I started talking to a few different girls, seeing what we had in common, all that kind of stuff. So I found this one girl, and let's call her, I'm not going to use her real name, but let's call her Jess. So I found this girl, Jess, and we started talking. We had a lot in common. We were kind of looking for like the same things. She's from Florida, but she was just relocating to a new city, which was Orlando. And obviously I was moving to Orlando from out of state. So we kind of were talking about like what we're looking for in an apartment, what we're looking for in a roommate. And they kind of all of our things that we wanted lined up. So it was like perfect. We're going to be roommates. And yeah, we're going to start looking for a spot together. So that is exactly what we did. Time I was still in Rhode Island. I was flying to Orlando like for vacations. I was kind of just like staying in Airbnbs because I did not want to be in Rhode Island. So in the meantime, we were looking for apartments, and we finally found one that we wanted to apply for. We went ahead and applied to that apartment. We had to submit like all of our stuff, so it was a few days, and we found out we got approved. So when we found out I got approved, it was actually my birthday, around my birthday, like my birthday week, and I was just turned 20. And at that time, I was in Orlando at an Airbnb. So I was so happy. I was so proud of myself that like the thing I was just thinking in my head just a few months ago, it was just a thought, is actually like reality now. Like I'm really going to be moving into my own apartment in a brand new city at 20 years old. I was literally so happy. I was so happy that I found this girl, Jess. We had a lot in common. We were like kind of becoming friends now, obviously. So we would talk like almost every day just about the apartment, all of that. Fast forward to January, we find out our move-in date, which was January 14th of 2021. The morning of I fly into Orlando, I literally sold my car in Rhode Island. I packed 2 suitcases chock full, and I moved. That was it. I literally didn't have anything except the 2 suitcases in my carry-on. I hopped on a flight and I moved to Orlando. That day I flew in, I got the Uber to my apartment, and I forgot to mention this. We actually had a third roommate, but it was a guy. Her choice. I wasn't really with it, but he was cool, so it was fine. So we got there. I got there first, and he was already there. So he helped me and stuff, unload all my stuff. So then she came, and that was like one of the first times we actually met in person. She was super cool. Like we had a lot in common. So fast forward a few weeks, we've been living in our spot, everything's kind of settled, and within like the first week of us moving in, we kind of all had like, not a meeting, but just a little talk on like what we expect from each other, like dishes, who's like cooking groceries, just kind of like rules. And this is important. One of the rules we set is like, our room is our room. Our room, our rules. Basically, if you want to drink in your room, if you want to smoke in your room, if you want to have people over, that is okay as long as you're like in your room. Of course, you can go wherever in the house, but you know, it's just like your room, your rules, basically. And it's simple. We're all adults. It shouldn't be that hard. For a few weeks, and I started talking to this guy, which is my current boyfriend now, and he's actually from Florida. So we were talking, we were getting to know each other and stuff, so he ended up coming over to my house. And I feel like when he started coming over, at first she was like cool with it. Like, you know, we would all hang out sometimes. But then like one day I just remember like me and him, I think we were just playing 2K or something in my room and we were smoking. And she like kind of just came into the room and kind of just wanted to like sit in my room with us, which like she did that a lot, but she was just giving me weird jealousy vibes. So I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. So literally like a few days go by and the other roommate is kind of just like, she's acting a little weird, isn't she? And even my boyfriend, even the guy I was having over, I'm just gonna call him Pat because he's my boyfriend now. So Pat at the time was even like, yeah, this girl's weird. She's like, this all started when I started like coming over. It's like she was kind of jealous that like you had a guy over and she kind of didn't, because she wasn't from Orlando either, so she didn't have like many people there. But I'm like, girl, you can do the same thing I can. Like, I don't care if you have someone over or whatever. Like, why are you trying to be like a parent or something, trying to control me? So one day, my boyfriend was over and she came and knocked on my door and asked us to go downstairs with her. She literally started like an entire speech saying, oh, I think he's dirty, I think he hits you, I think he should start paying rent here, he's hitting you, he's manipulating you. And I'm just like, girl, where are you getting this from? Like, literally, where are you getting this from? Who said any of this? She would literally like make up things in her head just for her to believe. And she's like, that's why I don't want him here, he's abusing you. And I'm like, girl, I've never said nothing even along these lines to you, and you're not even around us anymore because you act crazy. So where's this stuff coming from? And she literally basically said like, if we didn't get out, or if I didn't have him get out, that she was gonna call the cops on us, she was gonna have her dad come and remove us, that her dad was gonna kick me out. And I'm like, girl, I live here, like, you're not gonna kick me out. I pay same rent as you, you're not gonna kick me out. It's just not happening. I don't have anybody here except this guy who I was talking to. Like, I have no family here, I have no friends here except literally her. She was my friend, but at this point I was all set with her because I'm like, girl, you're just weird. You're just super acting weird. So yeah, she was like trying to convince herself that my boyfriend was like being rude to me. He was dirty. He was trashing my room. And all of this was complete lies. All of it. She literally just started making up lies. So she must have started telling her dad this. So one day her family came over to my house saying all this crazy stuff. Like, I don't know if it was like her or her family telling her like to do all this stuff, but her and her whole entire family was weirdos, literally weirdos. I've never met anything like that, because they just tried to control every single thing like I was a kid. Like, girl, why did you get an apartment with 2 people if you still want to act like a kid? I'm not acting like a kid. I live in a whole other state. This is not going like this. At this point, I was so fed up. Like, I was really like so just upset and aggravated, because I'm like, I really just did like this entire big thing, this big move, and I got stuck with this kind of roommate. And I'm just like, how did you go from like my friend to just like wanting to control me? I feel like she really had a control problem, because even with the other roommate, like, she was trying to control him so much. And he's like, I'm a grown-ass man. Like, you're not about to tell me what to do and what I can and can't do in my own house. Like, this is my own room. You're not gonna tell me, oh, I can't have a dog in here, or I can't have a girl in here. Like, no, you're not about to do any of that. But that's kind of like the moral of the story. She was just like a control freak. She just literally turned from a friend to a complete control freak. So basically how it ended was, she ended up saying that she got drugged, but like, I really don't believe that, because she said she got drugged by weed. And I'm like, how do you get drugged by weed? Unless it's like lace weed, but I don't think lace weed would make you control like that. Like, I feel like she was just trying to use something as an excuse, because nothing made sense. So I remember like she was telling, when her family had came there, I was like, you know what, I really don't feel like dealing with this. Like, I was already going through a stressful enough time, which is why I even moved to Florida from Rhode Island. I'm like, I literally moved here to get away from all the stress, and you're literally causing me so much stress in my own like house. Like, this is not gonna happen. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna get a hotel for a few days, which I should not have done. Like, I had to spend like over $600 on a hotel just to get away from her and her crazy family. Like, so I did that. Me and my boyfriend, he ended up splitting a hotel with me. And we stayed in a hotel for a few days, and in the midst of those So then I came back and I was like, you know what, let me just go home for a few days. I haven't seen my mom and dad in a few months, and she's stressing me out, so let me just go home for a few days, come back and see where things are at. So that's what I did. I went home, and while I went home, I found out I was pregnant. So I kind of knew, like, when I was going back, like, I didn't know what was gonna happen. I was telling my mom and dad, like, I had a crazy roommate, but I didn't tell anybody I was pregnant yet. So I kind of knew, like, I couldn't stay there. So when I went back, I kind of really was just thinking about it, and I'm like, I obviously have to move out of here. I can't be pregnant, dealing with her stress, living with 2 other roommates while I'm about to have a baby and everything. So I basically went back. I had to get another hotel because she, like, locked me out. She locked my room door, wouldn't tell me where the key was. Like, she did some weird stuff. Like, I really should have, like, I don't even know. I should have beat her ass for real, but so yeah, I basically got a hotel. I got a U-Haul. I packed all my stuff in the U-Haul that I just got. All my brand new furniture. I put it in a U-Haul. I put it in a storage company, and I took a flight home. I went back and lived with my parents and had a baby. So yeah, that was how I moved out at 20 and how it turned from a great experience to a crazy roommate. So if you guys want more story times, a lot has happened in my crazy life of 22 years so far. So if you guys want more story times, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's how she made it for me. So shout out to you, Jess, if you're watching this. You are one crazy girl. And I hope you never try to pull that with no other roommates, because a lot of people ain't gonna be as nice as me. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. As my first story time, I really enjoy watching story time, so I was like, you know what, let me tell this crazy story. I told it on TikTok a few days ago, and I feel like a lot of you liked it, so I decided to do it on here. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
Cyclops. 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 Cyclops.